What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Awesome Nerd Show. Today we're looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men animated series figures. So we have two more figures with the animated cell shading on them and in the VHS box style designs. So we have Cyclops and Mystique. So we have a good guy and a bad guy once again. So both look really cool again in the VHS box style. So you can see the design there. So you can like have them facing off on the shelf, and I like how they're labeled, Cyclops, Mystique, as well as the pictures up there. And then we have the designs on the back of the box. So you can see each of the figures and a little bit of their stories there, so if you want to read those you can, but both of them just look really cool in general, and once again have that cell shading design, which again I'm not the hugest fan of, but I do like the figures and think it adds a lot to them to make it from that animated series. So I'm excited for both of these, so let me go and get them open and out of the box. Of course, the plastic free packaging stuff, so we don't see our figures, but hopefully everything's good with them in there. So let me get them out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start off with Cyclops. Of course, real name is Scott Summers, and he was a founding member of the X-Men that was orphaned as a kid with his brother Alex due to a plane accident that killed their parents, and he was recruited by Xavier to join his X-Men and became second in command and leader in the field, and eventually married Jean Grey. And overall, he looks pretty cool. Looks like that classic Cyclops, especially from the X-Men animated series, and my favorite version of the design of Cyclops. So he's got the all blue spandex body, so it's covering him all the way pretty much from head down to toe, and he's got the yellow details. So he's got the yellow underwear with the belt with the X-Men logo on all the pockets, and then the straps going up over his shoulders with the X logo up there, yellow gloves with wristbands, and then he's got the straps on his thighs, which I like that now they're built into them so they don't just flop around and fall down like they have on the past figures and the one I'll show you, and then yellow boots as well with the straps up top there. So overall he looks cool, and of course this is the X-Men animated series design, so he has the cell shade, so you can see the dark blue there, the goldish color there on the yellow running all the way through the yellow sections. I thought maybe his left arm here was completely untouched. I'm like, did they mess something up with this? But it is on the underside, so it runs under there and to that. So obviously if you try to bend his hand up to put the finger on his visor, and then of course has the visor on his head, so we know Cyclops' power is to fire force beams from his eyes, so he has to wear a special visor or ruby lens sunglasses to help contain the beams from shooting out. So you can see the red down inside there, and then has the visor, and then we have the face of Scott Summers, so it looks pretty fine face wise there. Looks like maybe a little bit of paint issues on the side there, and then his brown hair all sort of spiked up and sort of flowing in the wind. Once again, a good hair design from Hasbro, and overall he looks cool. So this is a really awesome version of Cyclops. Like, this would be my ultimate version. Not really sure about the cell shading if I like that too much, but just overall the design, I absolutely love it. So far this is probably my favorite Cyclops. But let's do his movement. So his head twists all the way around, and he can look down that far and up that far, so really good movements there in the neck, and pretty loose, so it spins pretty easily. The shoulders can come up to 90, and it has the butterfly joint, so just a little bit back and forth. It looks like it would get more range, but it's just not moving too well, and can rotate all the way around. We get the bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend up that far, so not bad, definitely over 90. Wrist can twist all the way around and flex back and forth. We get the ab crunch in the middle. You can see some of the cutouts, so crunch forward and crunch back. Of course, I have to worry about the straps. Actually, I just realized the straps are sort of like separated, so they're not connected, so they put a strap going up his midsection here as well as the back, but then it's not connected to the top. At least it doesn't look like it to me, so it moves freely, just can only go back that far because it kind of stops and runs into it there, and same going forward. So that's really cool. Actually, I didn't realize. I thought it was just a strap connected like all our past ones have been, so I like that. That's built in, so it doesn't really get in the way, but it still kind of runs in to stop him from crunching. But he also can twist all the way around at the waist, so it's just below the belt. The hips can come up to 90 and out to the side that far. Ooh, not far from doing splits. The thigh twist all the way around, so really nice there once again with the straps built in there, so they're not going to flop around and just sit right where the cutout is. The double knee joint, and he's a little bit stiff there, but it can bend all the way up and kick himself in the butt really easily. We get a shin twist all the way around the top of the boot, so between the strap and the boot there, and then the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So overall he's really nice. He's got really good movements. I'm impressed with a lot of stuff like the built-in straps, and then the straps as well, like up on his chest. No real major issues. Like, he has some stiffness in areas, but that's probably because of the pinless joints, like I mentioned in past videos. The pinless joints look really nice, but they have a lot of stiffness issues, at least for us. Ever since they've switched, we have a lot of issues with stiffness, and even some joints have broken on us, so just have to be careful with that. But overall he just looks amazing. The figure's amazing, no issues or anything with it, and like I said, his functions really well. So I just overall really like this figure. He's just awesome. Like I said, the cell shading is just the only thing I can't decide on. I usually don't like it on the yellow, like that gold color, but I like it on the blue, so it adds some nice details on him. So overall it's hard to tell if I love this figure or just really like it, but either way it's nice. It's a really big positive in my opinion. He just looks awesome. For accessories, these usually usually don't come with much, but he does come with some extra hand accessories. So he has fist hands, so we get an extra set of hands that are sort of like open, like gripping hands, whatever, just kind of like the standard things they throw in. And then of course for Cyclops, we have the pointing hand, so the hand that can go up to his visor to shoot out his beam. So let's switch his hand out for that. And once again, I like how they thought about it enough to put the cell shading on the inside of his arm, because people would always have it posed up like this to be firing off his visor, so you get the cell shading in there instead of being hit around back there like it is on this arm. So that's pretty fun. And there you can get it up so like he's firing off his laser or whatever. I never know what to do with his hands, but there's Cyclops using his power shooting his laser beam, and overall that is really cool. Like I said, I just love the look of this figure and everything with the designs, the way the body functions and stuff. That's real positive, so can't complain at all about this figure. And just so you can see that comparison, here's the older Cyclops, and what I'd say pretty similar design, but it's the older style, so it has the straps, like I said, that sort of flop around, and you can see the ones that should be at the top of his boots are falling down now to his ankles. So I'm glad that they designed it with the build-in stuff now, so we can have that going forward. But either way, I like both of these Cyclops, but definitely just this new cell-shaded one for the animated series just looks so much better compared to this other Cyclops. So very good and impressive figure, figure we've had multiple times before, or character I should say, but nice impressive improvement on him, and like I said, probably my favorite version so far. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Mystique, which was a character I was excited for because I always like Mystique. Like, I love her blue collar and, of course, her powers and stuff. And always a character I think of when I think of X-Men. And overall, I think she looks good here, like, especially for the animated series, like with the cell shade and stuff. Like, just the way it is standing right here, just seeing like it straight on. But when you see it from any other angle, I don't like it at all with the cell shading. I don't like the blue they chose, which it probably, I assume, matches up with the show, where it's more of like a grayish blue color. So I don't like that. It's not as, blue as I would like, but her hair design looks nice. Just again, looks awkward at certain angles. And then that cell shading with the darker gray all over her white outfit just seems a little bit off and weird to me. Like I said, seeing her straight on, looks, yeah, it's cell shaded, so it's supposed to be that animated style, but it just looks a little bit weird and awkward. But this is Mystique, real name Raven Darkholm, and she's the leader of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and mother of Nightcrawler, who she abandoned in a basket and sent down a river because the father was horrified of him being a mutant. But then later she became the adoptive mother of Rogue and convinced Rogue to absorb the powers of Miss Marvel to give her her abilities. But for herself, she has the ability to shapeshift into any human or mutant, but she can't perform their abilities. And overall, she looks, like I said, good, not horrible, but I feel she could be better, like I said, with more blue. But as I mentioned already, it's just going straight from the animated series, so it's why she's this color. And like I said, just when you see it like in person at different angles and stuff, like seeing the cell shading, it looks off, so I don't like it nearly as much. But not a horrible figure, and I thought she'd be much more improved, like with the new female body with the double elbow joints and stuff, but she still has the pins and the single elbow joints here, so it's pretty much just the old figure, just redesigned color wise and a different head sculpt. But let's do the movements. So the head can twist all the way around, and it can look down that far, so that's really good, and then up just pretty much straight on because of her hair design. And again, with her hair, it looks a little bit weird, so it looks like her head's like bent a little bit too far forward, but you can't get it back anymore because of her hair, so that's a little unfortunate. And like I said, her hair, if you see it at different angles, doesn't look as good as it does straight on. Then we get the shoulders that can come up to 90, maybe a little bit above, rotate all the way around. Again, those single elbow joints that just bend to 90 with the rotation. And then we get the wrist that can twist all the way around and flex back and forth. We have the ab crunch right under the chest, so crunch back and forth. Again, very little crunching, mostly back for this, and can twist around a little. The hips can come up over 90 and out to the side a little. Thigh twist all the way around, a little bit stiff, but can twist. Double knee joint that bends up that far to the back, very close to kicking her own butt. And then the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So overall, figure wise, it isn't horrible, but like I said, it is definitely that older style, so it's not going to have the new improve, which I'm kind of surprised they didn't use the new style. But overall, she looks good. Like with the red hair, stands out a lot against the bluish color skin, with that skull there up on top of her head, the yellow eyes and red lipstick, all just stands out there. The all white dress with that gray cell shading, and then the belt around her waist with all the yellow skulls, and then the skirting that hangs down all the way to the white boots and gloves. Like I said, I just don't like that cell shading on this. For some reason, it just stands out and looks a little bit too weird. But for accessories, she comes with additional hands, so she has the 2 open hands, so she comes with 2 grip hands that look like trigger finger hands, and with those she comes with 2 guns. So first we get guns, in this grayish blue color, not too far off from her skin color, but we have this rifle. It looks sort of futuristic with the design and stuff, but just this big rifle, as well as the pistol, so you can put either one of those in her hands. Let's go and put the pistol. So there I put that pistol in her hand just so she has a weapon. So there I put that pistol in her hand just so she baby has a weapon. But the coolest thing I like about this figure is that she also comes with baby Kurt. So we have baby Nightcrawler. So it's like the figure we've had before with like the baby Hulk, with the past like Old Man Logan or whatever. So just the little figure all wrapped up in the blanket. Even it has some cell shading on there, but then it's got the all blue skin and the hair all spiked up. Like I said, it's just a reuse of that baby Hulk with a little pacifier in its mouth, but it's supposed to be baby Nightcrawler. So we can try and put this in her hands. I don't know if she'll hold it, but let's try. So it's definitely not the easiest to get into her hands, but you can just kind of put her hand in that shape and you can get the baby to sit in it. So that looks pretty cool overall for Mystique. Like I said, definitely not as good as I thought she would be. And then we have the old figure, which again is pretty much the exact same figure, just repainted. And I love the blue and outfit design and stuff on this one much more. So I wish they would have just pretty much redone this figure completely with collars and everything, just added the cell shading on that one and then upgraded the new female body and stuff. But over definitely this Mystique is definitely going to be my preferred one over this version. But there we have our Mystique and Cyclops figures, and now that we have those, we can add them in with the rest of our cell shading X-Men. Well, there's our entire X-Men animated series figures with the cell shading on, now adding our Cyclops and Mystique in there, and overall pretty good wave. We still have figures, of course, could have Rogue, Gambit, all sorts of other X-Men characters, Charles Xavier, you know, that we can throw in. But overall, I really like these. I think they all look really good together, you know, fit in with the X-Men animated series, which I love. So overall, I can't complain much about this. Like some figures I like more than others with the cell shading, but overall, I think they all look really cool, so I'm very happy with these figures so far. But let me know what you thought of them down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.